In venture capital, ideas are everywhere. But ideas alone don't build successful companies, execution does. And at the heart of execution is the team. No matter how groundbreaking a startup's concept is, the single most important factor in determining its success is the people behind it. Investors don't just fund businesses, they back founders, leaders with a vision, resilience, and ability to turn ambition into reality. A great team can navigate setbacks, adapt to shifting markets, and push through the inevitable challenges of scaling a company. But a weak team? Even with the best idea in the world, poor execution will lead to failure. This is why, for investors, evaluating founders and team dynamics is one of the most critical steps in deciding where to place their bets. So, what makes a great founder? While there's no single mold for entrepreneurial success, the best founders share key traits that give them an edge. First and foremost, they have a clear and compelling vision, not just an idea, but the ability to communicate it in a way that inspires investors, employees, and customers. Conviction is crucial, but vision alone isn't enough. The best founders pair it with execution and grit, the ability to push forward when things go wrong, iterate quickly, and make tough decisions under pressure. Market insight is another defining factor. The strongest entrepreneurs have a deep understanding of their industry, anticipating trends, opportunities, and threats before they happen. They also know they don't have all the answers. Coachability, being open to feedback and willing to pivot when necessary, is often what separates the great from the merely good. And, of course, leadership matters. A founder must be able to attract top talent, build investor relationships, and create a culture that motivates people to work toward a common goal. Resilience is non-negotiable. Every startup faces make-or-break moments, times when giving up might seem like the logical choice. The founders who succeed are the ones who push through. They take risks, make sacrifices, and keep going even when the odds seem stacked against them. Look at some of the most iconic entrepreneurs: Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, Brian Chesky. They all had relentless vision, the ability to execute, and an instinct for where the market was headed. But equally important was their ability to build and lead strong teams. Because while a great founder can start a company, only a great team can scale it. Investors don't just look at the CEO, they analyze the entire founding team. Do they have the right balance of skills? Are technical, operational, and business expertise all covered? A company led only by engineers might struggle to commercialize a product, just as a team full of business people might lack the depth to develop it. Trust and long-term alignment between co-founders are just as important. Have they worked together before? Do they complement each other's strengths? Founder disputes are one of the top reasons startups fail, so investors look for teams that are solid and aligned from day one. Speed is another major factor. Startups don't have the luxury of moving slowly. Teams that can build, test, and iterate rapidly are far more likely to succeed. Diversity of thought and background also plays a huge role. The best teams bring different perspectives to the table, leading to more innovation, adaptability, and better problem solving. And even if the startup is small now, investors want to know how the founders think about hiring. Who are the next key hires? How will they shape company culture? Because the DNA of a startup is set early, and the people brought in at the beginning often determine the company's long-term trajectory. But just as there are qualities that make a great team, there are also red flags that send investors running. Solo founders without strong leadership support can be a risk. While some succeed, most investors prefer teams with at least 2 or more strong leaders to divide responsibilities. Co-founder tensions are another warning sign. If disagreements are already obvious in early meetings, it signals potential instability down the road. Lack of focus is another major concern. Founders juggling multiple projects or side businesses raise doubts about their commitment. Then there's overconfidence. Some founders refuse to take feedback, convinced they have all the answers. These personalities can be difficult to work with, and investors tend to avoid them. And finally, execution matters. A team that's been working on a product for years with little progress signals deeper issues with focus or capability. These red flags don't necessarily mean a startup is doomed to fail, but they do make investors think twice before committing capital. And even for the best founders, the role they play in their company changes over time. Early on, they're deeply involved in product development, driving vision and execution. As the company scales, they shift into more of a leadership role, building teams, setting strategy, and managing growth. Eventually, some founders step into full CEO roles, overseeing a large, complex organization. But not all founders scale with their companies. Some struggle with the transition from scrappy startup leader to corporate CEO. In many cases, Google, Uber, Twitter, the original founders were eventually replaced by professional executives better suited for the next stage of growth. It's not an easy shift, but the best founders understand that their ultimate job is to build the best company possible, not just to hold onto their title. Before making an investment, VCs conduct extensive due diligence, not just on the business model, but on the team itself. They hold multiple meetings with founders, evaluating their strengths, weaknesses, and leadership styles. They conduct reference checks, speaking with former colleagues, mentors, and employees to understand how the team operates under pressure. They watch team dynamics closely, looking for signs of cohesion or dysfunction. And they examine execution history, because a team that moves fast and delivers results is a team that's more likely to succeed. At the end of the day, venture capital is about betting on people, not just ideas. Markets shift. Business models evolve. Competitors emerge. But a great team? They can navigate all of it and still find a way to win. That's why the best investors don't just ask, "Is this a great idea?" They ask, "If this business model fails, do I still believe in this team enough to back them again?" If the answer is yes, that's the sign of a team worth investing in. Venture capital is fundamentally about backing exceptional teams rather than just promising ideas. A great founding team combines vision, adaptability, and execution skills, making them more likely to navigate challenges and scale effectively. Investors analyze team cohesion, speed, and leadership potential while watching for red flags like misalignment or lack of focus. Ultimately, VCs invest in founders they believe can pivot, build, and succeed, even if the original business model fails.